trap catches her. She's deflated the airbase. You can see there on impact, but then they have a fire, and the marshals have to attend to that, obviously, causing another red flag. Good old Monza, absolutely love it as a circuit. Just wish it had a bit more runoff where it needed it, so that people don't get hurt when they fall off bikes. But then, call me old-fashioned. Now, I just want to make one thing absolutely clear, because earlier on I mentioned that Stuart Higgs, the series director for BSB, is out there. And Stuart is out there in a judicial role, so he's out there as chief steward, and I just want to make the absolutely clear about that he's chief steward out there. Obviously, Stuart will be watching everything that goes on and in charge of penalties and ride-throughs and things like that. So he's a very familiar man with a very big racing brain, overseeing some of the big decisions out there at Monza in terms of the judiciary of racing. And more power to your elbow, Stuart. We'll see you at Knock Hill, middle of June, for the next BSB round. Right, guys. Shaky, it's one of the toughest questions for a racer to answer, because everybody does it differently. But how do you keep your focus at times like this?
Well, you know, at times like this, it's just more, you know, they'll probably be more hungry now, more alert, more ready to go than they perhaps
cut. So actually, you might be able to go with a slightly softer tyre. If you'd gone for the harder one to hang in there, 10-lap dash, yeah, you might be able to go to something slightly softer. Yeah. You might not. You might find that you'll still be using the same tyre. But the main thing is you haven't got the time to, you know, to think about it quite so much. You've got to get to the front, and then you've got to be in the right position on that last lap. So, you know, for us, it's going to be, I think it'll be exciting. Also, the pack's not going to split so quickly. So, should be interesting stuff. He's worth to mention as well. Van der Mark, obviously second in the championship. The young Dutchman are doing a terrific job. So, again, he'll be one that might, you know, one of the guys that might be able to join that leading four. Tons of potential from him out there, but yeah, do we get into the state with this sort of restart, with it only being 10 laps, only, in inverted commas, being 10 laps, do we get into the state where it's less fuel in the bike, or does that not matter so much on these 600s? Do they just, you know, refuel them, send them out, or is anybody working out fuel loads and things?
I wouldn't have honestly said they would be. You know, they'll have chucked another litre or so, or a couple of litres in there, just to make sure they get to the end. Yeah, I mean, what you've got to bear in mind is, whilst they're doing less laps, you know, they're still doing sighting laps, warm-up laps or whatever, so from their original fuel load, they would have probably emptied the tank completely and then thought, right, OK, we're going to need this much now to do however many laps, and, you know, err on the side of caution, because you spend a lot of time on a 600, even on a superbike, at full throttle, and obviously full throttle is where you use the most fuel, so, yeah, I'm sure the teams will have that covered. Yeah, very much so. Just whilst we've got a couple of minutes in hand, then let's go back and take a look at some of the questions that you've been sending into Eurosport Bikes on Twitter. A great question here from David Johnson. Well, not a question really, but DJ that we know from BSB. He says at least he's got time to whip up his cheese and ham toasty between red flags. Nice one, DJ. Always thinking of that stomach. But there was a question further back. I'm trying to find out who it was who actually sent it. I can't find the name, I'll find it in a moment. But the question was, what do you think, Shane, would be a good result for your teammate, Keith Farmer, in BSB this year? It's a difficult question to answer, because Keith has an incredible amount of potential. I mean, you know, what people don't realise about him is he's like third full season of road racing, you know. He is literally brand new to the job, so... yeah, I've been trying very, very hard to help him and sort of steer him in the right direction. And, you know, we got a great team. You know, Birdie's very, very keen on Keith, you know, and we've been trying to bring him along as good as we can. But I think a fantastic result for Keith would be to make the showdown. I mean, at the moment, the top 4 places are kind of pretty much guaranteed. But I think if he can get into the showdown, that would be, for a first season on a superbike, that would be a tremendous job.
Yeah, especially up against that level of... other riders out there, the competitiveness and all that. Right, as you can see, they're heading off for their warm-up lap, so let's go back trackside then for the third time of asking World Supersports with James and Jack.
Welcome back, and the sun's burst back through the clouds here at Monza, and we have perfect conditions for what is going to be a hectic 10-lap dash around this fabulous 5.793-kilometre circuit here in the heart of the countryside to the northeast of Milan. And in fact, built in the Royal Park of Monza, the fabulous former Royal Palace, the Villarreal, is actually being rebuilt at the moment and is rather looking a little unkempt, with a crane towering over it and some scaffolding around it. The palace that was built originally in 1777, and a fine building it is too. A fine circuit this is, that was constructed in 1922 to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Automobile Club of Milan. So it was originally a kind of testing track where they wanted to be able to test motor cars and motorcycles at high speed.
Flat out.
Sustained high speed. Yeah. And it certainly does that. You were saying, James, that these super sport bikes, you sometimes wonder how they hang together because they're under such high-pitched stress for such long periods.
Correct, yeah. Compared to a 1-litre superbike, you know, that not got the revs and producing more power, kind of less stress in these things. These things are up to 16,000, 17,000 RPM and essentially on full throttle and up at those revs for longer in the lap, you know.
So as they come down towards the Parabolica, down one of those challenging straights into the final turn, this is going to be another, just check a few people out. There's number 21, Christian Idden, on the left of picture in the centre, throwing away one of his tear-offs. There's one of the Yaknik Yamaha boys, number 99, the championship leader, Fabian the Ferret Foray.
Yeah, and you know, when these things do let go, at those revs, 17,000 RPM, when they do let go, oh, makes a mess. I've seen rods coming out, and I mean, it's amazing they stick together like they do.
Number 19, Florian Marino, bless him, he needs to make one more flying start. He's done 2 perfect starts. Can he produce a third on the Intermoto Pony Express Kawasaki? Andrew Stone keeping an anxious eye on proceedings. Good Lord, I thought Fabian was in the pit then. I'm forgetting they have a life-size Foray picture on the back of the pit box.
Just so it comes off.
There's Fabian's beautiful Australian lady looking on. Finally, we're all gathered together. Everyone's backing in one piece except for Alicia, who's okay, but not in the race. And now we're ready to go. This is 10 laps round Monza. This is going to be a blistering 10 laps. The start is going to be so important.
It is.
A better start this time for Sam Lowes, but once again, it looks like Florian Marino had got the drive off the line, and again, similar positioning for Keenan Softwoglu as he comes round the outside and waves that leg, almost identical.
Somebody's got on the inside, it can't stop, it can't stop!
Dear me, boys!
Oh,
what are you doing?
You could see that coming. I tell you what, somebody went in there so fast, he obviously wasn't going to stop, obviously. That was the most... I don't know how it starts.
We've got this track under threat. Dorna threatening that we're not going to use it again after next year. It's the greatest track on the World Superbike calendar, and these guys have tried to prove that it's...
I tell you what, I saw that coming from, you know, seconds before it happened. You cannot go in there that somebody's either missed his braking point because he's unsighted, or he's been clipped or something. He went in there 20 miles an hour up. It was never going to work.
And we've got a British 1-2. Kev Coghlan leads the race. Sam Lowes is in second place. Isn't that remarkable, having emerged from the debris and somehow got through. And number 80, the red flag's out. Ricardo Russo in third place. Sam Lowes shows his frustration.
Yeah. Kev Coghlan's got even more so.
Well,
and I need to see that again, because Ryder with a day-glow kind of yellowy, greeny helmet came in from unbelievably way back, and I won't blame him now, because I didn't see how it started, but he went in there so fast. He was clearly going to hit somebody.
Well, this is getting to the stage where are we going to get now? Is that, yeah, that's on the outside of that first.
I think
Jack Kennedy's in one piece, number 4, number 21 Christian Idden's in one piece, 14 Gabor Talmash is all right.
Yeah, it wasn't him. He had a Dayglow helmet, but it was a smaller guy with Kawasaki-type leathers, like green and white leathers.
It certainly came, there was someone came in like a missile.
Oh no, it wasn't. That was never going to work. There's no way we was going to get around without covering somebody on the first lap. Ken Summan there.
Yeah, K-Tech man.
Yeah. Good bloke. Funny as well, actually.
Look at Sam Lowes shaking his head. He's really had enough of this. He just loves riding. He wants to get out racing, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, I sometimes think that when there's been a red flag...
He and his father do for successful motocross teams, that there wasn't time for him to come over.
That's right.
Sorry, mate, too busy building engines.